Hello, beautiful friends. Today I want to talk about something that has changed my life, my marriage, and the way I see other people. It's called the Johari Window. Now, stay with me before you click away and think that I have some complicated psychology lesson. Stay with me because what I have learned from this simple tool has helped me discover something about myself I couldn't see. And that thing is called pride, or was called pride, or still called pride. It's not the obvious kind of pride, the pride that boasts and brags, but it's the subtle kind, the kind that quietly whispers, I am right. My way is the best way. You should see things my way. They hurt me. They owe me. They owe me an apology. And if I'm honest, that kind of pride has caused much damage in my relationships than I realize. The Johari Window teaches there are 4 parts of ourselves. So imagine a window pane with 4 blocks. The first block of a window pane is the open area. It's the things that we know and others know about ourselves. For example, people know I enjoy cooking and baking. I enjoy creating stuff. I enjoy talking about my faith. People know that I am a wife and a mother and a grandmother. Now, the next pane is the hidden area. This is the area we know about ourselves, but others don't know. They are the private stuff that we keep to ourselves, the fears, the disappointments, the insecurities. Perhaps people see us smiling, but they don't know that we are worried. Perhaps they see the confidence, but they don't see the self-doubt. Perhaps they see our strengths, but they don't see the tears we cry when no one is watching. For many years, I have carried things in my hidden window that very, very few people know about. Perhaps you do too, and you can resonate with me. Then we have the pane 3. That is the unknown area. This is the area that neither do we or others know about. These are the gifts that we have that are undiscovered. Maybe you are a painter or or could have been a judge or a lecturer or something that you don't know that you have, or you probably, maybe I'm a musician that can play the piano. I don't know. Maybe you have an undiscovered talent as well. The unknown area is the strengths that we have not yet developed. The lesson God still wants to teach us. 10 years ago, I never imagined I would be speaking publicly on YouTube. I never knew that God would use some of my pain and my experiences to encourage others. Sometimes God reveals things in the window through life's challenges and seasons. Then there is the blind spot. This is an area where others can see about us, but we cannot see ourselves. It's just like driving a car. You can look ahead, you can look in your mirrors, but there are places you are simply cannot see unless somebody tells you, hey, be careful, there's an accident ahead of you. I started to ask God to reveal my blind spots, and what He showed me, it was not comfortable. He showed me that I have pride. You see, pride does not look like pride. For years, I thought pride was arrogance. But pride can also look like being easily offended, very argumentative, wanting to win every argument, having to prove that you are right, reacting instead of responding, refusing to see another person's perspective, holding on to hurt, keeping score, wanting justice for yourself without expecting mercy, wanting justice for yourself while expecting mercy for your mistakes. This was a hard realization because you see, I saw myself as a good person. Because if I'm honest, I genuinely saw myself as a good person. I went to church, I tithed, I was generous, I helped others when people needed help, I was faithful to my husband, I loved my children, I believe I am a good homemaker, I worked hard, I was a good employee, I tried to be a good neighbor, I took pride in myself and my home. From the outside, I was doing many things that a good Christian woman should do. And that's what made this revelation so difficult, because pride wasn't showing up as arrogance. It wasn't showing up as boasting. It was showing up in subtle ways. It showed up when I thought my way was right. It showed up when I struggled to see another person's perspective. It showed up when I reacted instead of responding. It showed up when I held on onto offense. It showed up when I expected grace for myself but found it difficult to extend the same grace to others. And that was hard to admit, because I wasn't a bad person, but God was showing me that being a good person and being a humble person are not always the same thing. God was showing me this, and it wasn't easy. It was difficult pill to swallow, but it was revelation. The more I prayed, the more I realized that pride can hide under good behavior. And God wasn't showing this to condemn me. He was showing this so that He could heal me. One of the greatest places God revealed my pride was in my marriage. I would think, if only he changed, if only he could understand, if only he saw things my way. But God began to ask me a different question. What about you? The question changed everything. I started seeing how often I reacted instead of responding. I often interpreted situations from my perspective. How quickly I held onto offense and how slowly I extended grace. The truth is, I wanted mercy when I made mistakes, but I wanted justice when somebody else made the very same mistake or something similar. Jesus, in Luke chapter 18, he tells us about a powerful story, the story of the Pharisee and the tax collector. The Pharisee stood and prayed and said, God, I thank you. Thank you that I'm not like other people. Imagine that. He wasn't talking to God. He was comparing himself to others. But the tax collector, he stood at a distance and he said, God, have mercy on me. I am a sinner. Jesus said it was the tax collector who went home justified. Why? Because humility opens the door for God to work. Humility gives room for God to open the door and enter. But pride closes the door. One of the greatest lessons that I have learned is that offense is often rooted in pride. We think, how dare they treat me that way? How dare they say that? How dare they do not appreciate me? But God asks, He says something in a different way. He asks, what if they are having a bad day? What if they have wounds too? What if they have another perspective? Pride makes everything about us. Humility makes room for understanding. One day, I realized something profound. The same grace I needed from God every day, I wasn't always giving it to others. I need mercy. I need grace. I need understanding. Yet, I was sometimes reluctant to extend it to others for the same things. Jesus taught us. Jesus says, forgive as you have been forgiven, not because people deserve it, but you must extend forgiveness because you didn't deserve it either, but it was Christ. He gave it freely. Now, When I pray Psalm 139. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offense or any wickedness in me. This week, instead of asking what's wrong with them, ask what is God trying to show me? Instead of defending yourself immediately, pause, pray, and listen. Instead of holding on to offense, remember how much of mercy you have received. Ask God to reveal your blind spots, not to shame you, not to offend you, but to transform you. The Johari Window taught me something precious. I have faults I cannot see, and yet people have loved me, people have forgiven me, people have extended grace to me just as God has. And perhaps the greatest sign of spiritual maturity is not becoming more aware of everyone else's faults. It's becoming aware of your own need for grace. The more I walk with Jesus, the less convinced I am of my own righteousness, and more amazed I am of His mercy. And that, my friends, has changed my marriage, my relationships, and most importantly, my heart. Thank you for watching, and I hope that this message has blessed you. If you know someone who needs encouragement today, please share this video, and remember, growth begins the moment we allow God to reveal what we cannot see ourselves.